Last season?
I would characterize last season was growing pains. I think we fell short a couple times, but it's in the past now. We're looking forward.
When you found out that Brent Venables was going to be the next head coach, was that pretty exciting for you, knowing his background with being a linebacker and being a linebackers coach?
Yeah, 100%. After finding out about him, I looked into him and seeing all the great things that he's did and what he's done with defenses and what he's done with linebackers. So it was definitely, I was definitely excited to meet him and have him come coach us. His defensive concept, though, is different. So how much of a challenge is that for you? I mean, how different is it? It is different. As you know, everything's going to vary from coach to coach, and everything new is going to be a challenge, but I don't want to. It's not overwhelming or anything. We're handling it pretty well. You know, when you moved to linebacker, you admitted how much of a challenge. But last year, you told us you felt really comfortable. Yep. Now that you have that fine foundation at this position, they can throw anything at you, and it doesn't really. You can gather it in and go. Yeah, definitely. That's how I feel right now. I feel confident in my play at the linebacker position, playing from depth, opposed to being on the line of scrimmage.
Going back to last year, you said growing pains. So, coming into the offseason, where were areas of growth that you were wanting to focus on for yourself? For myself, I wanted to work on my speed and also getting my weight down, and those are two things that I think I've done pretty well.
How big was it for Deshaun White to come back, and what did that mean to you personally?
It was huge because outside of football, Deshaun's like a brother to me, so being able to step into my leadership role with me being a senior, then him coming back, it's kind of like, all right, I'm a leader now, but I still got big bro right there next to me to show me exactly how to do it, you know.
Danny kind of described having Coach Roof and Coach Venables, so like having two position coaches. What's it like having that kind of brain power, coaching that position?
It drives us, and it gives me and the rest of my linebacker group the utmost confidence, having both guys giving us just as much insight and as much knowledge to the game and to the linebacker position as possible.
How do they differ? Do they bring different things to the table, or is it kind of the same message?
It's about the same message because they're all under one roof, you know, one body, many parts.
Does this message get delivered differently from the two of them?
Yeah, just because, you know, if you met Venables, you met Coach Roof, they are two different people, for sure.
What have you seen out of the freshmen, Kobe, Kip, and Jaren so far? Oh,
Kobe, Kip, and Jaren, they don't look like freshmen to me out there on the field. They're great additions to the team, and it's their drive and their hunger to learn as much as they can about the game. You know, they're not in here trying to just take the freshman way out. You know, they're very responsible, and they hold themselves accountable, and that's what you like to see in freshmen.
All the newness in the program, all the new coaches and some new players and whatnot, you know, everybody's kind of on the even playing field, right? I mean, because it's a new defense, you're all learning. But for you, do you kind of feel like you have a bit of a reset here, and then do you think maybe you need something like that going into this next season?
Yeah, it definitely feels like a reset, and I'm happy that it happened as well, you know, because now it's like everybody gets to rewrite their own story, you know.
Do they have any talks with you about moving positions after watching you play or anything, or?
No, my position as the mic is pretty sound right now. For sure.
When you talk to Coach Venables, Coach Roof, does it seem like that they've gone back and watched some tape of you here at OU the previous years, or is it one of those things where they kind of wanted to go in clean slate, not know much about you? What do you know about what they've seen from you so far?
They've definitely looked into the tape from last year because they've given me a couple pointers of where they wanted to see me improve. Like one, my pad level as I come into blocks and take on blocks and make tackles.
It's nice to know that they've taken the time to go back with probably not just you, but other teammates that you have that going through watching details of what you guys can do well and what you need to improve on. Yes,
100%. And that's what I'm saying about the knowledge and just the details that you wouldn't be able to get as just watching film of yourself. You know, you get a different insight coming from the coaches. So it's great having them tell me specifically what I need to work on and specifically what they've seen.
There's some new guys in the offensive line. I imagine the inside drill's been pretty interesting. Talk about that a little bit because, I heard Coach saying the other day, this is the drill that's really teaching you some football, or letting you play football.
Yeah, facts. A lot of the guys on the front, it's always a competition every day. So inside drill it definitely is a time for us to compete and show what we know. And the guys on the new guys on the other side of the ball as well, they're firing off the ball and competing just as much as the linebackers.
This spring practice, and you've been doing a few of them now, as far as the physicality of it, is this similar to other spring practices, or is this different? How would you assess the physicality, hitting, and stuff so far?
I would say the physicality is more and a little more up tempo, just because everybody, like I said, is out there trying to rewrite their own story. So you're not going to do that by going out there and being soft, So everybody kind of has a chip on the shoulder, and I like that because it makes practice a lot more fun and a lot more intense.
Any teammates that have surprised you with maybe their level of physicality that's maybe taken a step up compared to what you've seen in the past at all? Or?
I wouldn't say anybody that surprised me compared to the past, but I will say everybody out there is definitely showing what they can do for real.
As far as coaching goes, is there anything about Coach Roof that's surprised you, even just in the last couple of weeks of spring camp?
I wouldn't say surprised, but definitely when he first came, is the knowledge of the game and the knowledge of the linebacker position that he was feeding into me was definitely good to get, because he just knows so much, and you could tell that he knows so much by the way that he talks. So I try to be up there with Roof as much as possible.
When the coaching changes were going on and everyone that you knew, position coach, coordinator, leaving, any second thoughts about staying here, or can you kind of take us through that process?
Well, I was just talking to my mom, having a lot of close talks with God as well, and my heart was here with Oklahoma, so I wouldn't say I ever had any thought of leaving.
Because of the resume that this defensive staff particularly has brought in, did it make the level of buy-in amongst everybody just, I guess, that much easier, knowing that they've kind of put out a plan, you just got to buy in and be able to kind of subscribe to what they're pushing?
Yeah, definitely. It did make it easier, and just with any new coaching staff coming in, like I keep saying, it's a chance for everybody to rewrite their own story. So with everybody getting the chance to do that and realizing that what happened last year doesn't define us, everybody's definitely buying in 100%.
Did you have any, I guess, second thoughts about maybe moving away from middle or anything with linebacker, maybe moving back to the outside? Or
definitely not. With the two guys that we had
Sure.
coming in, I definitely wanted to stay right where I was at. Like I said, they dropped so much knowledge and insight to the position to me. I can't wait to show it to the rest of the world.
How frustrating was last year for you?
It wasn't too frustrating for me. I knew because I knew we had the people to do it. We were just falling short in a lot of parts, and a lot of it came from everything that we did on and off the field. It all translates. So now we have a lot more accountability within our team, and the team's a lot more player-led and leadership-led.
That's something that seems like comes up with any of the guys that we come in and talk to, that there's just so much more off the field that you guys are doing in policing yourselves.
Definitely.
Winter workouts with Schmitty, stuff like that. Was it eye-opening almost to, I guess, realize how much you guys needed to do off the field, and it wasn't just stuff on the field that needed to be fixed as well?
Yeah, it was eye-opening because we always knew it last year, but we didn't go out and participate and partake in actually doing the things off the field that would translate on the field. And now that we're doing it, we're seeing the results of practice, and we're seeing the results in the weight room and stuff. So,
another veteran guy, Woody Washington, said he's the leader of his group now. Have you been able to see that from obviously across position groups about his veteran or leadership status so far?
Yeah, definitely. Woody is a guy that comes and competes every single day. Woody's going to give you your all every day. Woody pushes, I can say for sure, Woody pushes me, because from snap one of practice to the end of practice, you don't see a change in Woody. So his intensity when it comes to practice is definitely something that drives the rest of the guys. And it's easy for young guys to follow when the leader and the older guy in the group is doing that. That just sets the standard and sets the tone for everybody else to fall in.
You kind of mentioned that culture of accountability you're talking about. You're seeing Woody, even in a different position group. Does that accountability, does that go across position groups too?
Yes.
Is there that feel as well?
Yeah, definitely. Across the groups, because it wasn't any one person or any one group last year. It was just a whole bunch of different spots from different parts of the team. And now that every group has their own little system of holding each other accountable, it's definitely showing evident on the field.
You mentioned a system. You've got Venables and Roof on the staff. You've got Sean White, a guy that says like a brother, you coming back. The Soul team. It just seems like you've got all these tools to really succeed. Is that just extra motivation to kind of bring the best out of you?
100%. Like I say, you got to practice, and anything you do is gonna be seen, is gonna be coached, and you can tell these guys are coaching from their heart, and they're coaching because they want to bring the best out of us. So it's good out there, just seeing all the different parts of people pouring into the players.
Have you had any conversations with Curtis Lofton? Obviously, trying to just pick his brain, knowing he had such a successful career in the NFL, and both of your background as linebackers. I'm sure that's what your goal is as well.
Yeah, I pretty much have a conversation with Curtis every day after practice, asking him what he's seen in me and what he thinks I need to improve on, and he always has an answer for me.
What have you learned from him?
I've learned a lot of things. One, my pad level, and one, my punch, and he's taught me certain things about knowing who's coming to block you in certain run schemes and stuff like that, and just expanding my knowledge of the game and not just looking at it tunnel vision, but having seeing a little to see a lot is what he says a lot, and it's just the knowledge of the game that he pours into me.
Thanks, David.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Appreciate it, man.